In today's video, we'll talk about FIA and the F1 race control. Several controversies are always surrounding the FIA and race control. Some people even claim that they prefer Mercedes to other teams. This time, however, the problem is between Haas's Magnussen and Alpine's Ocon. Magnussen has accused the race control over how easy it is to influence them. Make sure you stay till the end of the video to find out all about it. Firstly, Magnussen claims F1 race control too easy to influence after the Ocon radio call. All this drama happened over 2 weeks ago at the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal. Kevin Magnussen started 5th alongside his teammate, son of F1 legend Michael Schumacher, Mick Schumacher. The qualifying season in Montreal was an absolute dream for Haas. If they had played their cards right, the bottom tier could have looked at double points in the race. But unfortunately, Mick Schumacher's car was retired and he didn't finish the race. Since he didn't finish, Haas's hopes were all set on Kevin Magnussen. He was expected to do quite well during the race, but then a brush with Hamilton obliterated his chances of finishing strong. During the opening lap, Magnussen's and Hamilton's cars clashed slightly, damaging Haas's front wing. Because of the accident, his right-hand side endplate was dangling off the side of the wing. This went on for several laps. This was then spotted by Alpine's Esteban Ocon when he was right behind the Haas. At the same time, Haas was reassuring Magnussen that the damage had a negligible effect, and that he should continue racing. But Ocon felt differently. When Ocon was notified about the plate by his team, he radioed in to say, "Yeah, I can see it's hanging on. It's going to fall. If he loses it, I'm going to hit it in the face." Ocon has every right to be concerned for his safety, but Magnussen claims that's not what Ocon was worried about. According to him, Ocon was lobbying for Magnussen to be shown the black and orange flag since he knew that the FIA would be listening in on the conversation. That would mean that Magnussen's Haas would have to be sent to the pits for repairs. This is exactly what happened as he was instructed to box at the end of the 7th lap. This made him fall several positions. Knowing the Haas car, it was now practically impossible for him to gain all the positions that he lost, and he ended up finishing 17th. Since 3 cars did not finish the race, Kevin Magnussen was pretty much last in the race. After the whole saga, he was super annoyed at how Ocon was able to influence race control so easily. He even claimed that the French racer came up to him to joke about how he got his competitor out of the way. Magnussen stated, "I was just talking to Ocon now and he was joking how he told the FIA that it was really bad." But it's not like Ocon was clearly in the wrong. He may have joked about it, but there's a chance he was seriously concerned for his safety. Let's see if Kevin Magnussen feels that way. Now, is Magnussen more annoyed with Ocon or with FIA race control? He's less annoyed at Ocon and more annoyed at FIA. He felt that they were unnecessarily easy to influence. Talking about Ocon, Magnussen stated that if you can influence the FIA, then why won't you? According to him, it's all fair play. The problem wasn't with Ocon. The problem was with the FIA. Magnussen was super annoyed that he was told to pit for just scratching off his front wing. This is not the first time he's expressed his concern for race control's inconsistency. Just a week before Montreal in Baku, he got another orange and black flag for a car that was just fine. He even pointed out last year in Jeddah. At the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Hamilton raced with half of his front wing missing. He was able to continue racing and even went on to win the Jeddah Grand Prix. He thinks that's the correct way of racing. If a car can race, then let it race. Now he's claiming that race control is getting too sensitive. He talked about Monaco and how they didn't start the race because of a little bit of drizzle. The consequence of their actions was that Haas and Magnussen went off strategy so early in the race. This led to the Dane finishing last. If he was allowed to race, or maybe get repaired as he pitted for tires, things would have been different for Haas. But it's not that easy, is it? Race control heard something concerning and they decided to act on it. If something bad had happened, they'd be under even more fire than right now. Then they would have had an injury or an accident on their hands. And finally, why does Magnussen feel so strongly about this whole issue? The reason why this whole thing irked Magnussen so much was because of the qualifying results. Thing is, it rained in Montreal during the season, which meant that the results were unexpected and all over the place. Because of the problems caused by the rain, Magnussen was able to qualify 5th, which is far ahead of what he usually qualifies as. For example, for Silverstone GP, he qualified 17th, so this was a once-a-season kind of chance for him, which was wasted because of Ocon's words. Well, enough about Magnussen and Ocon. So much has happened in F1 since then. Let's dive right into it. First off, Timo Glock slams Haas boss for not doing enough. Haas is dead last in this season. They didn't perform perform better in previous seasons either. They're new to the game, not experienced, and neither are they funded as well as the other teams. Their drivers aren't the best in the game either. But it's not just the drivers that are the problem. Haas's hardware is extremely unreliable and glitchy. Weird analogy, but Haas cars are to F1 what Range Rover is to SUVs. Now, Timo Glock has slammed the racing team for a minor mistake of aligning Schumacher's steering wheel. The problem with the steering wheel left the German down in 19th place for the British Grand Prix. Glock has now slammed Haas for not doing enough. He has also slammed their due diligence and told them to get their act together if they stand any chance of staying in the sport. Next up, Hamilton warns Ferrari and Red Bull. Silverstone is a pretty important Grand Prix for Hamilton. It's the British Grand Prix and it matters quite a lot to him. His fans always flock to the stands to support him. Hamilton has even mentioned that nothing feels better for him than to fly that Union Jack out of his car after he wins the race. But so far, Mercedes and Hamilton have had a disastrous season, partially because of porpoising, partially because Red Bull is just simply unstoppable now. But at Silverstone, Hamilton has a whole new attitude. Sounds like he stands a chance. The team's cars aren't bouncing like they were either. Then Hamilton qualified 5th, and a podium seems a little less likely than before. But Hamilton has told us that we should not be worried. He has warned Ferrari and Red Bull that he will be aggressive. Let's hope he can pull it off. All of Britain will be rooting for Hamilton. Now, let's talk about how Sainz snatched the pole from Verstappen. Carlos Sainz started his first race ever on pole position. He was 0.072 seconds faster than Max Verstappen around the lap. No one expected this. People either expected Verstappen or Hamilton to get pole. However, Hamilton got the unfortunate 5th position. Ferrari's Leclerc started in the 3rd position. Ferrari might just have a wonderful race. Unfortunately for Haas, Magnussen qualified 17th and Mick Schumacher qualified 19th. Lastly, let's talk about the crash at the start of Silverstone. The start of the Silverstone Grand Prix was delayed because of a massive crash at the start of the race. This crash included AlphaTauri's Tsunoda, Mercedes Russell, Williams' Alex Albon, Alpine's Ocon, and Alfa Romeo's Zhou. Luckily, all of them were okay. Zhou's Alpha turned upside down and went sliding in the gravel. This accident was caused when Russell tapped the Alfa Romeo, after being sandwiched by Pierre Gasly. From the looks of it, it looks like it wasn't Russell's fault at all. It seems like Gasly going for a small gap caused the accident. Everyone at the race was super concerned for Zhou's health, but he was removed immediately and is doing all right. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Do you guys agree that the FIA is easy to influence? Or were they just worried for Ocon's safety? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. See you guys next time. Bye!